Welcome, everybody, to the CX channel, the place where CX professionals converge. This is another episode of our Synergistic CX Podcast. I'm Erik Brooks, and here with me today, as always, we have Emil Tsankov and Cristiani Oliveira from the CX channel team. And today we have a very special guest who is Ronelle von Rensburg from South Africa. Ronelle, would you like to share with our audience a little bit about yourself?
Hello, Erik. Hello, everyone. My name is Ronelle. I've been in the CX and CRM industry for over 20 years now. So, Erik, I want to say thank you to you, Emil and Chris, for actually inviting me. It's great to be part of a global community to talk about something that I'm so passionate about. So I co-founded Helion Market Research in 2014 in Africa. And we've been so blessed to be able to provide mystery shopping solutions to a myriad of clients in 44 countries across the African continent. So in these 10 years, we've seen some very interesting things. Some of our clients include, but are not limited to, retail, hospitality, entertainment, the motor industry. And when we talk about retail, it includes fashion, technology, food, fuel, you name it, and we do it. And the thing that I really find very interesting is, although we work on big global programs, we also work with small, unique, boutique-style agencies and retailers in South Africa. And that's what I really enjoy doing, helping people to actually improve and deliver excellence in service.
Great. Well, it's fantastic to have you with us. You're also the first guest we've had from Africa, so that'll be interesting to hear your perspectives from there too. Yeah, our audience may or may not know this, but we try to hop around to different countries with each of the episodes just to kind of get a different flavor. But we definitely have people in each of these industries that we study. We have partners and we have associates and so forth across all these different countries in all of these different industries. And so if there's anybody who's listening who's interested in this in the Africa region, feel free to contact Ronelle or any other region of the world. We can help connect you with any of the companies that we've talked to or anyone else who might be able to assist your company with anything that you hear here. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about today's agenda. We'll be discussing our latest industry study, and we've got an interesting industry today. The industry itself is actually the fashion accessories market. And so we will be looking at this retail space, and we will look at the ABSA-based methodologies that we've used. So this is the aspect-based sentiment analysis. And we take thousands and thousands of reviews from online in this space. So we basically comb the internet for online reviews of these types of stores. And we're going to look at the industry as a whole and see what people think, see what customers are thinking out there. And Ronelle, could you explain for our audience, when we say fashion accessories, what exactly we're talking about here? What types of establishments are these?
Yes. So when we look at fashion accessories, it is anything that we look at to beautify us: handbags, shoes, jewelry, any unique fashion accessory to authentically help you to express who you are. So that's really where we're looking at: sunglasses, handbags, jewelry, belts, and even in some instances, it included shoes.
Great. And would you say that that's primarily women, but also men as well, correct?
I'd like to say women, Erik, but that is not entirely true. Men also look at accessories. If we look at men nowadays, wear handbags as well. So handbags, belts, shoes, very important part of getting dressed. So it includes both women and men. Yes.
And teens as well, because now is the Gen Alpha generation is already buying things for themselves. So if you look at the teens, 10, 12 years old, they are already customers of this particular market.
100%, because it's a way of expressing yourself.
Yeah,
I think you see a lot of overlap with social media too. The influences of that on that younger demographic, I think, are very profound. Well, great.
I would This is definitely an industry that's very, very much influenced by social media.
Fantastic. So we'll take a look at the results of our industry study, and we will look at the marketing mix. We'll look at the customer journey. We'll look at what we call the moment of truth. That's kind of the big moment that everybody likes to see with each of these podcasts. And then we'll talk about creating a starter voice of the customer survey for this particular segment. And then we'll talk about the findings that we see here. Afterwards, we'll dive into a little bit of a deeper discussion with Ronelle, and she'll give us some insights on various aspects of measuring the CX of these types of establishments and how to use the various methodologies to improve that customer experience. And as always, this industry study that we're looking at is going to be available in the magazine that we will produce. That's free and available on the CX Channel website. That website is cx-channel.com. So you can go there to look at our other podcast episodes or download the magazine in PDF format that goes into a lot greater detail even than what we're talking here with that particular industry. So Emil, we'll hand this off to you. You can take us through our objectives and take us into the first main topic here of our study.
Thank you, Erik. So the objectives are to gain insights into the customer experience with the fashion accessory stores. And as you mentioned, we'll go through multiple steps from analyzing the influence of digital feedback down to identifying the key layers of improvement. And we're going to go through this journey in the next minutes of this podcast. So let's first start off with the industry sample. Our sample's worldwide geographic structure is separated into three primary zones, the Americas, APAC, Asia Pacific, and EMEA, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Each zone is then further broken down into specific regions as visualized on the smaller charts here to the right. The composition reveals a relatively balanced distribution across the regions, with EMEA leading slightly with a little bit over 40%, followed by Asia Pacific, and Americas with 21.5% of the sample distribution. What we aim here is to achieve a confidence level of 99.5% with a margin of error of slightly over 2%. So for that reason, we have selected close to 2,000 stores that sell fashion accessories, and we have collected a little bit over 11,000, actually close to 12,000 online reviews. So that is where we are from a sample standpoint. Moving on to the star ratings. Star ratings in online reviews and ratings are the system that allows customers to evaluate the product service from a scale of 1 to 5 stars. And what we see here is that the star ratings for fashion accessory stores vary across regions. And more specifically, in Americas, we see a lower score on the 5-star scale compared to the other regions. Conversely, the APAC region stands out with the highest percentage of 5-star ratings and the lowest of 1-star rating, indicating a stronger overall customer satisfaction. Next KPI that we'll look into is the critical review response time. That KPI measures how quickly a business responds to critical reviews. And these are the reviews with a rating of 1 or 2 stars. Obviously, this KPI plays a vital role in customer relationship management, and obviously a quick response to negative feedback not only shows attentiveness, but also helps build trust and reinforces the brand's dedication. So what we can see here is that almost 90% of the critical reviews go unanswered.
This is interesting because we've done several of these now, and there's a number of them that have over 80%. A number of industries that we've looked at that have over 80%, but this one's the worst so far. It's almost 90.
Yeah, it's really bad. What's your view on this, Ronelle? That is from the customer experience management point of view, that the stores simply ignore negative reviews.
It's interesting to look at this, and it's actually quite shocking for me to look at. And honestly, from a customer experience point of view, there's no real reason why we are looking at this. What this is telling me that once the transaction is concluded, it is clear that the service providers think that the transaction is concluded. So this is where the opportunity is lying, to ensure that there is a connection and that we know what to do when things do go wrong. So it is one of the opportunities that we have highlighted as well, to continue to build relationships, because if things go wrong, which we can see here, and in this industry, it's very important to build trust. And clearly, that's where the opportunity lies here.
Yeah, it's clearly a matter of after sales engagement and loyalty in this industry.
I think there's a really big opportunity here for these businesses too, because a fair chunk, and Ronelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but a fair chunk of these fashion accessory stores are somewhat considered luxurious, right? So you've got like some higher end belts, and jewelry and things like that. And for people, especially maybe a younger demographic who's just getting into this and just starting to spend their money on, higher end accessories and such, for them to go in, they're probably somewhat intimidated by the stores. I mean, I think I'd want to be greeted very nicely and so forth. And then after the purchase, if I do have a problem, I'd like to be taken seriously. And there's a big opportunity to feel intimidated or such from these types of stores.
It's not just that, Erik. I mean, I think one of the big problems, and obviously I'm looking at it from an African perspective, and specifically from a South African perspective. If you look at, there's only around South African, I mean, our disposable income for the people who we're looking at here, only around 7% of your income will be spent on buying fashion accessories. So it really is a big deal. There's a lot of loyalty. However, if I feel like you are not connecting with me and you do not care, that is going to definitely impact trust, and it's going to impact me on whether I will go back again or not. I mean, I must honestly say this for me is shocking and unexpected. I didn't expect this critical response to be this low.
This would be something that I would address as well. In this economy, this is extra spending, and this is something that customers would not think twice in cutting if required, if they are having a bad experience. So definitely this is an opportunity for brands to look at after sales, a better after sales experience.
Well, the critical review response time KPI does not cease to surprise us. It is what we have seen so far is it is usually neglected, but it hasn't been that low so far with all the industries that we have reviewed. And if you so this is the first really low overall performance for the KPI. But then if you look at this KPI regionally, and these are the smaller charts here, Americas, EMEA, and APAC, you will see that there is a notable regional deviation as well. So taking a look at the Americas, we see that 94% is in the not responded area versus 84% in APAC. So this is almost, it is a 10% difference, which is not insignificant difference. But I guess what I'm getting at here is that looking at Americas alone, the critical review response time is, I would use a strong word here, but it is abysmal compared to everything that we have seen so far. Okay, so I'll just move on here, and what we usually differentiate and what we try to look at is critical reviews with comments versus rating-only reviews. So in the fashion accessories industry, businesses are more likely to respond to reviews with comments. than to those with ratings alone. That is something that we have been seeing all along. So, however, even for reviews with comments, when we look at the critical review response times across regions, we still see a significant proportion of the not responded reviews. So great opportunity for improvement here. All right, so with this, I'm going to move on to the marketing mix. And just to introduce the topic, creating a strong marketing mix is vital for any business, specifically for the fashion accessory stores looking to stand out and resonate with customers. And from collections that reflect current trends to beautiful in-store displays, each part of the marketing mix must work together to create a cohesive, enjoyable shopping experience. So, getting into the marketing mix, we're going to start looking into what do customers talk or care about. So these are marketing mix elements. This chart indicates the distribution of the elements of the marketing mix. The 7P marketing mix is an extended version of the traditional 4P concept. It includes the following 7 elements: product, price, place, promotion, people, process, and physical evidence. And what we can see here is that customer reviews focus mostly on people, product, and place, which these 3 make up 85% of all aspects reviewed. And when we dive deeper and look at what details do customers prioritize, what we can see is that in fashion accessory stores, customers often emphasize the importance of staff attitude and expertise, the diversity and quality of products, and the store's ambience as key elements in their shopping experience. By contrast, price accounts for slightly below 10% of the overall marketing mix, but this doesn't mean that it is insignificant. Important factors shaping the customer experience in fashion accessory stores seem to include the expertise and the attitude of the sales staff, the quality and variety of products, and the store's inviting ambience. Staff attitude, which ranks highest, is at 26.3% of all aspects surveys and is essential in creating a welcoming environment. While expertise and knowledge further enhances the customer interactions and builds trust and contributes to the overall satisfaction. So obviously this is a very busy chart and we can really keep diving deeper and deeper, but I'm going to move on to the marketing mix experiences. So what we show here is what we try to do is we try to understand the customer sentiment, thoughts and feelings across the 7 P's of the marketing mix. This is obviously critical feedback that reveals issues essential to the customer experience. And what we can see here is that 26% of the feedback in people and nearly 50% in price and process categories is critically negative, pointing to substantial areas where customer expectations are not being met. Now I'll take a step back and I'll focus on price and process. What we have seen so far in the previous industry studies that we have seen is that price is low in the areas that customers talk about, and it is also relatively low on the critical sentiment. This is the first industry where price and process take up where the critical sentiment in price and process takes up close to 50%. We have never seen that in the other industries. So that is a point to discuss and a point to look into. So that is the difference that I wanted to emphasize. So key takeaways: address critical reviews promptly, obviously, prioritize effective review engagement, focus on people, but also product and place, price and process, and address critical feedback in key areas. These are the key takeaways on a very, very high level.
Yeah, these seem to be relatively common. Some of these are common themes across every industry we've looked at so far.
Yeah, it's true. But here, what I see is in terms of fashion, it depends a lot on the customer segment, because we have here from high-end stores to those that you can buy accessories for 3 to 5 euros. So it depends a lot on your customer profile. And fashion is something that is pretty much influenced by seasons, by influencers itself. So you can easily have teenagers that have like 100 earrings or 100 necklaces. So they can also buy online very cheap stuff, and they are almost disposable. And people that would prefer to buy things that are higher quality and they are expected to last for many years or even for a lifetime. So that would depend a lot. But Ronelle, when we are talking here about the importance of people, we saw the importance of product recommendation, for example, and that is key in customer experience. And I would love to hear a little bit about your opinion on that in terms of customer service.
Yeah, I think customer service and making that personal connection is absolutely critical in this industry. Product knowledge that you can give me the correct advice in terms of the product that I'm looking for. And it doesn't matter where on the scale, whether I'm buying something that's a little bit more affordable or something that's a little bit more expensive, people are looking for value. And what we find, I mean, Chris, you were saying, and we've got 10-year-old girls walking into fashion accessory stores buying accessories. And, it's important to also treat them like human beings and treat them with care and treat them because they are our future or current and future customers. And we oftentimes see this, that people actually neglect. And all that everybody actually wants is to be taken care of, to be shown the little bit of respect. And like I said, this is something when you buy fashion accessories, it's something that's very personal. So we want a personal interaction and we want the correct advice and we want to work with someone that actually knows what it is that they are talking about. Because if I'm going to go buy a pair of glasses, I want to know and I want to feel comfortable that the person that's selling it to me actually knows what it is that they are talking about. And they can actually give me the right advice for the shape or how the glasses might fit my face, just as a simple example. So that's why we see why it is so important when looking at the feedback. Yeah.
And especially now that we are in the golden quarter with Christmas, this is definitely the kind of business that is very busy for gifts. And if you are looking for a gift for someone, it's very important that the person knows how to recommend something for you to buy. If you are someone that is looking for a gift for your girlfriend, for your wife, or if you are a female and you are looking for someone for a friend or for someone that is older than you, maybe does not have the same style as you. So to be able to make the correct questions and identify the style of that person and to make the recommendation and close the sale, it will definitely make the difference.
100%.
So far, we have covered the marketing mix, and usually we start to uncover trends when we intersect the marketing mix with the customer journey. So I'm sure that the customer journey will show a lot of details that are not quite evident by just looking at the marketing mix alone.
Well, that ends part 1 of our 3 parts dive into this industry. Stay tuned for part 2, where you can see us go into the customer journey and the steps and activities and the various touch points. of the fashion accessories space.